Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. We are all about tips, tricks and news, and we've got it all for you this week. So, let's just get on with the show. Welcome, Acolytes, to the Church of Demonic Possession. I mean, Two Titans and Hunter. My minions today are the apologetic lackey Peroty and the snivelling worm Respawn.
Sorry.
Also, I don't snivel, all right?
You're a snivelling worm.
I don't
Snivelling
snivel. Worm? Okay, I might let you get away with that. But sniveling? I don't snivel. What the hell does a snivel mean? What is that?
This is what you're snivelling now.
Is that like more of your British nonsense? Is that your rubbish? Sniveling? That's not even a thing.
It's a thing.
You're making up words.
It doesn't even matter because it just sounds so much better in his accent than ours. It's appalling to me just how much better anything he says sounds. There are certain words that I only hear in his accent now. It's ruining the English language for me bit by bit.
So should we start the show off really slow this week and work our way in through this week at Bungie?
Slow, arduous. Sure.
This week
Bungie's
at Bungie.
tired. We're tired.
Yawn.
Everyone's tired.
No, they were tired last week. Respawn's muted himself again.
They seem fairly tired this week too. There's new stuff coming. Enjoy it. Play it. Have fun with it. Everybody wins.
No. Oh, I don't know what I've done now. Oh, there you go.
Well, now you've broken it.
This week at Bungie, things happened. People complained. They're going to try to fix it, break other things. Done.
Yeah, that's at the end of this week at Bungie. But at the
Oh, is
beginning, there's interesting stuff at the beginning.
Is there really? Okay, well, let's see what we have. Season of Opulence. Crown of Sorrow. Recommended Power.
Oh god. Yeah, you just skip everything and just read the highlighted bits that you want to.
Okay, what does these even say?
I've
Okay,
even put it in bullet points for you because you moan.
Yeah, right? See? Right. Bam! Right there. Okay, starting June 4th, 2019. That's like soon. Okay, Season of Opulence kicks off all players of Destiny 2 as opposed to Destiny 3 or 1. I guess that's important. Many of you are familiar with how raids can launch with new content. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a thing, I guess. Usually on a Friday at reset. Yep. This season, here we go. This season, there we go. Doing something a little different. Going to mix things up a bit. What? Owners of the annual pass, annual pass, right there. There's that pay to win. Will be challenged to conquer a new raid on day 1. Oh my god! Let's go do a raid under leveled. That's going to be fun. Okay. Here's some content on this new plan and changes to the upcoming power climb. I'm so excited. Okay.
Context for anybody that doesn't read American.
What did I say? Oh, context and content. I mean, they're interchangeable in this particular, part, I guess, right? Shut up. Dev team! The world's first race for a raid is a competitive event. Only for people that, have actually paid for the content, though. So it would seem Mr.'s annual pass, Mr. and Mrs. annual pass, apparently, are the only people that can race this time. So there's that. I guess, a little bit. Whatever. Okay. The raid is a challenge geared towards testing a fire team's ability to learn and execute the mechanics, as well as their ability to overcome enemies and bosses together. You know what? Hold on. That's bugging me right there. Owners of the annual pass will be challenged to conquer a new raid on day 1. So basically, if you have the annual pass, you have, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You have 3 days to be the world's first, right? So everybody who doesn't own the annual pass can't even get in on this. I think that is not good.
Why are you saying 1, 2, 3, 4 days? It's going live on the day 1. This is where Respawn hasn't read the notes in front of him.
Flashback.
Conquer a new raid on day 1. Oh my god! Let's go do a raid under leveled. That's gonna be fun. Okay.
End of flashback.
Okay, my bad. I retract my statement. Also, kiss my butt, Damon. Thank you. Okay, having a short window of time between release and launch allows us to preserve the combat challenge for players making their attempt on day 1 and get people playing the raid content right away. Okay, that's cool. Crown of Sorrow, new raid. 0 details. That's cool.
No, we've put some details in there.
Is it really details? 6 hours after the reset, the raid will launch. Wow.
It's not a good time for the Australians, unfortunately.
Well,
especially if they
Australia
want to
doesn't
level up.
really exist. We saw it on the news. Australia doesn't exist. The people that pretend to be Australian are actually people from England being paid by the Actors Guild to pretend like they're Australian. We saw this on the Flat Earthers websites. Okay, therefore it's fact. Duh. Thank you. Australia
So-
doesn't exist.
From reset, they've got 6 hours to level up,
Mhm.
and their time zones are like so many hours ahead of you guys, because the whole raid seems to be geared towards America in general. So you've got it starting at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 midnight for UK, and 9 a.m. in the morning for Australia. Well, Sydney time anyway, give or take a couple of hours for, I think, Perth the other way. So for leveling up, it's okay for like the UK and parts of Europe, but Australia, they'd be leveling up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, get to 9 o'clock, and they'll all be tired.
Yeah, but I've played on Australian servers. Those guys never sleep, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So the recommended power for the first encounter is 715. So what do you think? It's going to scale up to something ridiculous, isn't it?
Probably
Do you think it's
740,
actually going to go up to
745.
750 in total?
No, 747, 745 maybe.
Wasn't the last one like was it 10 or 15 points each time? I feel like each encounter was like 10 points higher than the one before. It wasn't like 650, 660, 670, or am I misremembering? Or was it 70, 80, 90, something like that? I'm getting the reckoning tiers confused with the raid level.
Yeah, Respawn, you've been in there.
Each encounter does go up, right? I don't know how much light level it goes up, but yes, you're right. Each encounter does go up in light. Well, you were reading. Are you continuing? What's going on?
I'll continue this bit.
Okay.
So with this race, there will be a few minor changes to the current investment system to ensure that it's an even playing field for players when they increase their power at launch. So the Last Wish and Scourge of the Past raids will be unavailable until the Crown of Sorrows has been beaten. I'm guessing that's just the raid's world's first team. Otherwise, it's going to be locked forever for everybody. Because if I have to go and do Crown of Sorrow first before I then have to go do Last Wish and Scourge, that's not going to happen.
That
So
is
apparently
that is how that happens though, because they even say until this raid, I think it's for a few days. The other raids will not be available until this one is complete.
It's world's first. It's to stop people from. It's preventing players
From leveling
with
up too
stashes
quickly.
of no, but they're stashing those etherical keys,
Mhm.
so they can just go into Riven and burn all the chests in there, can't they?
Yes, for
Because I
leveling
think-
up too early. That's what I said. Yes.
I think they haven't been able to get over the issue of people stacking like 20 in their postmasters and having 5 on themselves.
That's
So
not an
this
issue.
is their
though.
workaround.
You shouldn't have to
It
be
is.
limited by how many keys you have.
No, but this is their workaround. The fact that if you've got that many keys, you could then just go into that raid and unlock all the chests and get your power up really fast. So this is their workaround of we want everybody to go in at about 710, roughly. I mean, somebody's going to work it out. Somebody's going to work out a way of getting up higher.
Of course.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good solution though, just sort of to lock the content out. At least lock the raid content out. So if you want to go and grind other parts of the game, I mean, I think of all the things they could have done, seems like a fairly good one. I mean, we'll see how it plays out, and I'm sure they're watching too to see how people respond to it. What other methods they find to farm to get that light level higher.
And is this restricted to consoles? Like, is it world's first on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, or is it world's first on?
Yeah, I assume. Yeah, I mean, it's
Xbox
world's first period on everything: PC, console, Korea, everybody.
Okay.
So I assume it's once the season of the opulence hits, those raids are turned off until someone beats it. Now, whether that's 6 hours, 12 hours, or 19 days later, we'll see if we have another Berguzia Forge, Naomi Labs issue, or if it gets solved rather quickly. But yeah,
the raids have been solved relatively quickly, though.
Yeah, the raids have been pretty quick.
Yeah.
Of course, the raids,
24, 48-hour period.
There also weren't like missing puzzle pieces to the raids for the most part. So details.
Yeah.
So while this goes on and the beginning of the season, So while your character builds up prime achievement charges over time, these are being reset to 2 per character upon logging in after the new season begins. So at the moment, if you don't play for a couple of days, your prime achievement keeps building up and building up and building up. So when you log on now, after say a week, you'll find that you're getting a prime engram drop every couple of hours if you're playing. So that will help people level up. So they're resetting that back to 2 at the beginning of the season of opulence. So they're going to try and curb players from stacking that kind of thing. All level 50 characters can earn prime engrams after signing in and playing during season of opulence. That's all players. Don't have to earn the annual pass for that one. And players may continue to build up prime achievement over time after the reset occurs. And as a reminder, any powerful bounties that you've acquired prior to Season of Opulence, so that's anything that you've got sitting in your inventory that you're waiting to open, will have a power cap of 700. And for any additional information, see the Cleaning House section of their article, and I'll link that in the show notes. So we've got some discussion points for this. So we kick it off with, do you think this is a good change for the raid, rather than having 3 or 4 days of constant grinding, it go live 6 hours later so that everybody can near enough be on an even playing field? I mean, forgetting about time zones here, if somebody sat down at reset, they've got 5.5, 6 hours to grind it out to get as high as they can and then go into the raid. Do you think it's a good change? Because apparently Crota was very similar to that. It released day on date as well.
I mean, I overheard somebody, I don't know how true this is. I mean, overall, I'm indifferent, right? It doesn't affect me one way or another. I have no feelings towards it. But somebody was mentioning about how this is more targeting the streamers, right? Because you know how the streamers have a whole lot of time to play. I mean, that is their job. So they'll just stack all these engrams and whatnot like that. And when the reset comes, they're way ahead of the game, right? Because they've been doing all this prep work because they have all this time. So from what I understand, this is mainly keeping the YouTubers from getting too much of an advantage against, let's say, me or you, right? So if that is the case, and if that is true, I'm okay with it. I think it's a good change, right? It really does sound like it would put everybody on an even playing field. But if that's not the case, then, like I said, I'm indifferent. I don't really have an opinion about it.
I think it's one of their workarounds. I think they've had a long think about this because the community have been complaining over time that the raid comes out 3 days after the reset, and if you haven't taken that time off like some of the YouTubers do, I mean, understandable. It is their kind of job. They grind it out 24 hours, 48 hours, so they can get to the max that they can get to before the raid hits. And it is hard. I've been in that raid race for, I think I did Kingsfall with my friends, and we grinded and grinded and grinded, and we were up for ridiculous amount of hours to get to an appropriate light level so that we could go in day one and see if we could do it. And I think maybe this is Bungie's solution, is that they don't want people burning themselves out too much. So what they've done is lower the recommended light to get in on that first encounter, and capped certain activities and certain things, so that if everybody's level 50, 700 start of the season, they've got that 6 hour window to actually get in and do what they can, take into account what they can do in that time frame, so that there's more of an even playing field, because a lot more people would then have a chance, or regular clans would have a chance at seeing if they could go in and beat it. And it may prove, very fruitful. It may prove that, just regular people can beat it. You don't have to be a streamer. So I can see their logic in what they want to do. But I was thinking there's been talk of maybe, would it be better to do a soft cap? So for 2 weeks, you've got a soft cap to reach, say 735. And once you've reached that, at the end of those 2 weeks on the Friday, so it's as they've previously done, the raid opens, and then you go into the raid and it's 750, and you're kind of working your way towards that. So it could even be lower, the soft cap, but I'm just saying as a rough figure. So you've got a soft cap, and then the hard cap is when you get into the raid. A bit like we had previous with the Forever 29s in Destiny 1. Do you not think that would be one way? Do you think they'll try that next time?
I guess it depends on how well this goes over.
Right. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, because obviously, we don't know. We can sort of look at the big streamers channels, but we don't have the big, Bungie master screen, which has got to be a lot of fun to watch day one and see where all those teams are worldwide and see who's really out ahead. I'd be curious to see if someone, a team of non-streamers comes through it, and actually is managed to get the world's first. I think that'll sort of be a mark of success, that this was a good idea to say, hey, we've sort of leveled the playing field for everybody. I think it'll be interesting to see either way, because you will hopefully have a lot more people trying for world's first instead of going, I wasn't able to take 3 days off work and grind for this. So again, sort of like Respawn said, it doesn't affect me one way or the other. I'm not going to be in this hunt. I'm not going to be racing for it.
What do you mean you're not going to be in the hunt? I mean, you're not going to be dragged in by me and Respawn to try this day one.
Respawn and I have proven we are terrible puzzle solvers, as we spent about 8 minutes looking for a hatch below the ship for the Outbreak quest. So we are not going to be great puzzle solver. We can do some DPS, but puzzle solving, not our strong suit.
No, it's not the puzzle solving. What really gets me is the fact that we walked under the nose of that plane. And I know for a fact, because I was dragging my weapon across the nose of the plane looking for something to interact with. So I know my character walked over that hole without falling in the damn thing. So that's what gets me. It's like, we might not have been looking down, but we walked over the hole multiple times, and why didn't we just kind of drop in and be like, oh, there's a hole here?
We do have the world's most oblivious hunter who's like, I'm going to find these secrets. I'm going to go out into the wilderness. And then I'm not sure if I have the clip of you saying, I walked under that ship. There's nothing under that ship. And as I'm pulling up a YouTube video cursing at you and Andy and myself going, hey, guess where the thing was that we missed 15 times. Yeah, the place we walked over 14 times. We're doing good at this.
That's irrelevant. That doesn't need to be brought up. And that doesn't need to be in the cast, all right? That's the kind of thing that needs to get edited out.
Okay.
Demon.
So, do you think it's okay for raid teams to stack players to compete in the world's first?
What do you mean stack players?
Well, apparently, some of the teams are stacking 12 players. And what they do is the 6 initial players start the raid, and they go in and do the encounters. And then slowly over time, the other 6 players are still outside the raid, and they're constantly grinding further and further and getting more light progression. And then when one person drops out for any reason, the other person comes in at a higher light, and they're doing this. And apparently it happened in WoW with some of the dungeons and raids that they were able to do in that. And it's kind of a thing that's just been accepted. But do you think that it should just be world's first is that first initial 6 players going into that raid and beating that raid? And I think that's what happened with Crota and a couple of the raids in D1, that it was just the 6 players, they went in it, they just progressed all the way through it, whereas over time it's been more and more competitive and more things have happened. And I'm sure in the Callous one, that I remember them swapping out a couple of players towards the end due to tiredness, but you never know, and they still get world's first. But do you think that's fair? 12 people rather than 6 people?
I think it's smart, right? I will give them credit. I think it's smart. I do not believe that it's actually fair, because for the honor system type situation, right? I don't know. If you're going to be the world's first, it should be your fire team, your friends, your whomever, right? And those other 6 people can go do their own thing. I think that would be fair, right? Because that way, you don't have people in 2 separate time zones, I'm assuming, right? And when the first team gets tired because it's getting late, the second team takes over because it's only for them, right? That, to me, is kind of not breaking the rules, but I don't really see the honor in that, right? Because that team of 12 people is basically competing against, say, a fire team like ours, where it's only the 6 of us doing it like a bunch of schmucks, right? So I don't think it's fair. I think it's intelligent. I think the way they figured that out is pretty cool, right? But I don't think, especially if we're going for world's first, if you're going for world's first, lock the teams. If somebody leaves, Now you're down to 5, right? That's how I
or the
believe
team
it should
bows
be.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, the team bows out and you start over, right? World's first is world's first. This is a competitive event to see who's smartest, best, fastest, whatever, right? So I think the team should be locked.
You'd be a bit
Right.
gutted if you were like the first guy to bow out after, say, the second or third encounter. So
Yeah.
somebody could come in and
Yeah.
they complete it. Do you still get the reward for it? I don't think you probably do.
No, I'm sure it's the six that get through the final encounter and actually, are the world's first through that raid. I'm sure it's those 6 people. So even if you've got 12 or 18 or 25 people on standby, it's whatever 6 actually are in that final encounter actually beating the raid.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
See, I'd want to stay there all the way through. I wouldn't want to give up my position regardless of what light I was. If I was in that raid race, I'd be there and that's it until the whole team gives up.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what
You got a dog in this fight. You better stick around.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Right, yeah, you're in there for the long haul, and like you said, anything could happen. You could lose power. There could be a storm somewhere. Your internet drops out. There's any reason. I do sort of like the randomization of the chance of you're in the world's first raid, and if you lose someone from your fire team, kick the whole fire team to orbit, or you can either go on with 5 or 4 or 3. Or
I don't think you should kick the whole fire team to orbit. Like what you're talking about. If somebody loses power,
right?
that character is allowed to come back in.
Right. Yeah. No. When if someone leaves, not kick them, but say, okay, if you were at 6 and someone leaves, okay, now you're down to 5. Or if you do as a fire team, leave, you can't just invite somebody in. You have to start over again. I sort of like that idea, but again, I don't have a dog in this fight either. So we're all talking in theoreticals anyway. I'm not going to be sitting here, trying to get the world's first in anything. So,
I do miss that.
I think
I do miss
I'll be
going
curious
for
to see how it
world's
goes.
first. Or just going in blind and just, trying it for the first time. It's really exciting. It's really good fun. Golgoroth, we spent 6 hours at Golgoroth, but it's something that's ingrained in my memory. 6 hours on a raid encounter trying to work out which bubbles to shoot and what does what. And
you
nobody
have
wanting to look on YouTube at that point. But it was fun.
You have fond memories about that. That sounds like a normal Frozen raid to me. I can't tell you the number of times I've sat through the normal raids that people knew how to beat for 6 hours on an encounter because there was one piece of the puzzle we were missing, or one person who was
I was damn
dying
proud
or
of you
whatever.
guys, taking you into Golgoroth on the challenge mode, and we did it first time. That was fantastic. I can't believe the coordination that we actually managed to get, and we actually did it first time.
And that used all of our clan coordination. That was it. That was the one time we had it. Just like I think there was one time in what's the Leviathan. There was one time we got through the dogs on the first try, and then the room where you have to do the relay race. Got through the whole thing on the first try. It was like I don't know what happened. It's like everything just came together and everything clicked, and it was beautiful. Never again, never since, but it was beautiful that one time it happened.
But it is fun doing it blind, or even if you just wanted to kind of try for worlds first, and you may get lucky. So good luck to all those teams that are going to try the worlds first, or even just going blind on the first day. Good luck to you guys.
All right, so raid expands, hard challenge mode, boring.
Guess what?
Guess
what?
Craig stopped recording an hour ago.
No. Iron Banner's back next week. Woohoo!
I know that seems fast. I mean,
it was only 2 weeks ago, so it's a week earlier than I thought it would be back.
Yeah. I was just saying, aren't we missing something? Shouldn't there be was doubles this week? I thought they were bringing doubles back
this week.
Now I've totally missed doubles again. Oh well, it's not Crimson doubles, so who cares?
They're just doing it to get it out of the way, so people can get that stupid 2,500 kill bounty.
Yes. So the final Iron Banner of the Season of the Drifter takes place next week. Lord Saladin returns to the tower, which is now clean of the Reverie decorations, and invites you to participate in the power-enabled combat. So apparently it starts on May 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and ends on May 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Destiny 2 Update 2.2.2 released earlier this week and fixed an issue where the Iron Ruby shader was not being rewarded when dismantling Iron Banner rewards. If you've been looking to acquire the shader, you can either dismantle a reward that you've already got, and that'll be in your inventory, or dismantling an Iron Banner reward next week. Lord Saladin will also feature the following weapons for direct purchase when completing their associated weekly bounties. So he's got the grenade launcher and the hand cannon. And we have a couple of notes to go along with this. This will be your final chance to participate in the Iron Burden experiment of Season 6 if you're currently on the path for 2,500 burden kills and the heaviest death emblem. You have 7 days to complete this. So that's good. And additionally, this will be your final opportunity to unlock Season 6 triumphs or armor sets related to the Iron Banner. So get out there and make Saladin proud. And
So how many kills do you have left?
About
I
1,500.
have 1,200 kills left to do.
And you've got your plan for each day, how many kills you're going to get and how you're going to grind through it?
Yeah.
I ask because I figure you're the only person closest. I'm at 507, and I doubt I'll be much higher than that, if at all. And Respawn probably has 12.
No, I have like, I don't know, just under 300. But I'm not doing it. I don't care. This is not my circus, not my monkeys. I have nothing to do with that.
I've always liked
Amen to
Iron
that.
Banner, and to get something that's associated with Iron Banner is a good thing. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sort of.
Well, you know, I did have a rant about it a couple of weeks ago, but it is a good thing, I think.
Yeah. I was just happy to get through and get my Wizard Rebuke because, again, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a great gun. It's not like it's one I'm going to go to day in and day out, but it's just nice to have another decent fusion rifle option that's not an exotic. So I was like, I was at least going to grind it out to get the 500 kills. And honestly, after that, it's just a little too tedious to go. And again, I don't think in any world am I going to get 2,000 kills in this Iron Banner unless I take the week off work and go, all right, I'm going to play 10 or 12 hours a day, every single day, do nothing but Iron Banner, nothing but kills. It's not going to happen. But I'm happy to at least get the weapon out of it.
I like the raid fusion rifle, honestly. I have the non-curated Wizened Rebuke, and that's all right. It charges a little slow for my taste, but I know you haven't done the raid. I get that, but you should because it's got a lot of really great weapons in it, man. I'm not even talking about the exotic grenade launcher. I'm just talking about, like, in general, a lot of the legendary weapons it has are really good. Shotgun's great. Fusion rifle, I think, is great. Scout rifle could be better, but it's not bad, I mean, there's a lot of really good weapons in the raid, man. Not the Wrath of the Machine. That is the wrong raid. That's stuck in my head, though, because of the perfection, man. I've just been Wrath of the Machine all week, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting, like, severe deja vu. You know what I mean? I keep saying you know what I mean, but yeah, severe deja vu is just... I want to go back and play Wrath of the Machine again. I do. I want it to be a thing in Destiny 2.
Well, if you wait long enough, I'm sure they'll port it to Destiny 2 because all the old guns are coming back up. And we're visiting the tower that's clearly been destroyed. So the tower's back.
Dude,
so just set
earlier
a
the
raid in the
icebreaker.
tower and we're all set.
Stupid happy if the icebreaker came back. Oh my god.
So on a note regarding the Iron Banner, on Reddit, Dinosaurs asked about the season's Iron Banner ship. Apparently it was due this season, but there was a bug preventing it from dropping. And DMG's responded that the ship is being pushed to next season. I'd completely forgotten that they were doing another Iron Banner ship. Apparently it was in one of the TWABs a couple of months back, but obviously we missed it.
Forgot. Yeah, I forgot they had the shaders because it was like, hey, the shaders are broken. It'll be your next Iron Banner. We mean the next Iron Banner. We mean this Iron Banner. So I will not be surprised if we load up this Iron Banner and it goes, remember those shaders we were supposed to have that no one's seen yet? Yeah, those aren't fixed yet either. And again, again, video games are hard. I'm not trying to knock Bungie for saying, for having, QA problems on minor things. Because again, I'm sure, like DMG said the other week, these are the bugs you're seeing. And again, as far as bugs go, a reward not dropping, not a big deal. It's on a quest progression step. It's not, keeping you from enjoying the game. It's not anything super major. So I'm sure the things they fixed are big show-stopping bugs, big things that have broken. But it's still just like, okay, fix it, push it out, then tell us about it. The TWAB is nice, but it's also got to be a little crazy for them going, okay, we've promised this thing, we've put it out there, and it's not going to happen again. And we're going to promise it next week, and it's not going to happen again. I just imagine there's rooms of people going, oh man, this isn't fixed yet. It doesn't work. We're going to have, hordes of people on Reddit and the forums going, hey guys, where's this thing that you told us we were going to have? It's like, yeah, next time you'll have it.
It's always just the one person. They think, oh, we've managed to dodge it this week. And then just one person goes, hang on a minute. You said this like 6 months ago in black and white on here, and they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no.
Remember when you
Damn
as
it.
a company put this on your official company update? Yeah. next time, just let DMG tweet it out, and then he can be like, "No, that never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. What screenshots?"
So, Peroty, would you like to take us through news, info, tips, and tricks?
News, info, tips, and tricks. Who all four? All right. So we've got jumping puzzles and timed activities, which everybody loves, obviously. So Cosmos talked about the jumping puzzles and timed activities, saying, "We totally understand that some players don't like jumping puzzles or timed activities. The experience utilized those mechanics, and many players are reporting that they enjoy it. We will continue to monitor the response. Not all future activities will require jumping or timed execution. We'll continue to create different content for different moods. Thanks," from the forums. They'll also let the team know that ammo synths are heavily desired by the community. And we'll give that feedback to the teams, as well as the possibility of adding a rally flag in 0 hour, which would be a nice touch. And again, yeah, that's something else that it's nice to see. We see it in the Reckoning. Again, it's a nice mechanic to have. So why not put that into more activities?
Yeah, I suppose that is Destiny 2's version of ammo synths, isn't it? But you get your super as well. So for you guys that don't know, in Destiny 1, you used to be able to buy ammo synths from like various different vendors in the tower, and you'd be able to pop one of those whilst you're out in the wild, in the raid, or just doing anything, and you could get heavy, secondary and primary ammo synth. So you'd be able to top up your heavy to go into a raid encounter. So I'm guessing them putting the raid banners at the start of the encounters for the raid is their way of getting around it, but maybe it's something that they'll include later.
Yeah, that would be a nice change.
Yes, but it's not the same thing. Because the ammo synths, you could pop them anytime, anywhere, but you had a cooldown of like 5 minutes or 30 seconds or something?
I think it was
Something like
it was
that.
5 minutes, wasn't it? You could
Like 5
pop
minutes?
you could pop the heavy, and then as long just use it all.
Yeah. But you had the opportunity to pop it whenever you wanted. The raid banner, for example, you get all of your super and your ammo, which is better than a synth, but you can only do it one time, and it's at the beginning of the encounter. That's it. So if you're in the middle of the encounter and 10, 15 minutes have passed and you're out of ammo, you're out. That's it. So yeah. And just like the Outbreak Perfected heroic, yeah, I ran out of ammo 7-8 times, man. It's crazy. I ran out of ammo all the time in that race. So I wish I had some sense like back in the day, but even at that point, a rally flag would have actually not helped. It would have helped because this was in the middle of the encounter. So
Right. Yeah, especially in anything timed is not going to help you a whole lot, but at least having the option there. And again, it's something we had in Destiny 1, we lost in Destiny 2, and yeah, while the rally flags are sort of a replacement for that, not really in the same way.
No.
yeah.
So timed activities, jumping puzzles, rally flags, heavy ammo synth, or all ammo synths.
I don't mind timed activities. I don't mind jumping puzzles. But they need to give a more realistic time frame. Because we managed to do it within the 20 minutes on the regular, right? But the heroic is a lot harder, and they have the same time limit, right? I don't think that is realistic. Because as far as I know, I haven't been on YouTube, but as far as I know, even like the YouTubers are using the time glitch so they can do the little button puzzle to get the extra data on the Outbreak Perfected, right? Because there's just not enough time. I don't know if anybody's done it and successfully done it within the 20 minutes, and I don't know if anybody's beaten the boss within the 20-minute time frame.
Let's just say there's an historic video out there where he soloed it. So
there is a video out there of somebody.
Of course, he has.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the folks who are going to do it and super quick, and I was wondering if it's one of those. Yeah, I always wonder: are the jumping puzzles a little bit easier with a mouse and keyboard than with a controller? Because I definitely feel like I'm wearing Icy Titan boots every time I do jumping puzzles on a console. I've never played on the PC, so I don't know if that's better,
I think
worse,
it's
or the
easier
same.
on console. I think it's easier on console, and even on PC. Most of my games I still use the controller for. There are exceptions, but I like the feel of the controller better. Other people will argue, but I think that it's better on the PC because you have a higher frame rate and you can make corrections kind of easier, I guess. You know what I mean?
So there's a tweet from Paris with 2 R's on Twitter saying, I gotta say, Bungie, no longer a fan of the day one raid race. It's a pinnacle endgame activity that caters to a small percentage of even your most hardcore audience. We are in year 4. I'd like to see a more unique approach that can cater to more of the audience instead of even less. So basically saying, you have this pinnacle top tier activity that's catering to the top of the top of the top, to the peak of the peak, to the best of the best of the best, or honestly,
so in other words, the people that would be considered pinnacle top tier.
Right. And I'm curious now with the with the change they've made to this raid race, if that widens the field at all. But I guess that we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe we'll take our crack at it and see what happens. Okay, so Deech sent a reply to Paris saying, "We'll reveal the entire calendar of activities before the season begins. I think you'll find something on there that you'll like. I'll circle back after it's out, and I'm open to see if I'm right." So I was looking at the calendar because they've got a couple of things for the Season of Opulence, which is like their June, it says June to August on the roadmap. So we've got the Solstice, for annual pass folks. We've got an exotic quest coming up, new Triumph and Lore books, new raid rewards, Iron Banner, of course, new Vanity rewards, the power increase, and then an event called Solstice of Heroes, which I'm wondering if that's going to be their end of the season, end of the game, Book of Triumph type thing, or if that's going to be something different. And then we're going to have, actually, I'm sorry, that's free to everybody. So those free seasonal updates, that's for everyone going out in Season of Opulence. For the annual pass content, we're going to have new weapons and gear, the new raid, obviously, that we've talked about. There will also be that new six-player match-made activity that's coming. So we'll see if I'm curious if that's going to be brand new, like, something completely new we haven't seen before, or it should be like a different Gambit mode or something else. It'll be interesting to see because, what's the little robot? Sweeperbot's name. Sweeperbot is our big main character, just like we had Ada 1 for the Black Armory and the Drifter for Season of the Drifter. He's our main character for this one. So maybe it'll be something raid related. Yeah. And then obviously new Triumph and Lore books. And then there's 2 redacted activities or somethings. There's 2 things on the roadmap that just say redacted. Now I wonder, is one of those the Outbreak Prime quest, or are there still 2 new things coming?
No, Outbreak's for this one.
Okay.
They had a redacted for this season, and that was the Outbreak.
Okay, yeah. So there's still something coming on the roadmap that they're not talking about, in addition to our 6-player match-made activity. So there's definitely something new on the horizon. We'll see if it's like, because Escalation Protocol was one of those. Gambit was a new thing they threw in. So they definitely have shown they will go outside of what we have and bring us something completely new. Now again, for good or for bad, maybe something you enjoy, maybe not, but at least it'll be something new they're going to bring out. All right, so Destiny Item Manager has a new tab now where you can use a loadout optimizer to help you build specific armor builds. Now, I haven't looked at this, Nitedemon, I'm guessing you have. So is this like if you want to go into the Reckoning or go into Gambit Prime, you can say build things out, or does it also work for, hey, I want to run this Crucible and I want to run a Void loadout, find me weapon, find me armor pieces with Void on it. What level of customization can you do with this thing so far?
Yeah, you can. It's quite simple and straightforward. It's got different squares for different armor pieces, those helmet, gauntlets, chest piece, and you select on there what you're looking for and the character above that. And say you wanted to do a pulse rifle loadout, it would find you the optimum build for pulse rifle, or you could type it in the search bar, and then it will give you a list of enhanced pulse rifle perks on what armor pieces that you've got, or just pulse rifle perks, or if you wanted grenadier, or if you wanted something on your armor that you were looking for to make a specific build for, then you could put it in the search, or you could individually search for each item and tune it to your loadout, save that loadout, and then go back into the main page of Destiny Item Manager. It'll be there in the top drop-down box, and you've got it there until you delete it, basically. So yeah, it works out really well. And I believe Blue Screen told me about it. I hadn't actually noticed on the update, but yeah, there it is, and I had to play around with it because it's something quite interesting to do. So yeah, it's something worth pointing out to everybody else.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, I would love to put together, because half the time, honestly, I just stick with whatever mods, whatever armor pieces I have with super mods in them, or whatever I happen to be wearing at the time. I haven't really built any armor sets out. So this is nice that there might actually be an easy way, again, not in game, but at least an easy way through an app to build these out and then just to keep track of them. Because even if you build them out, it's like, how do you keep track of the sets you put together when all your thumbnails look the same? So that's nice. That'll be a nice change going forward.
Well, that's what you were asking about that the other week, weren't you? So yeah, you can put a specific loadout together, save it, and then you've got it every time, and you just click the button on the Destiny Item Manager, and it automatically can load it straight onto your character. I'll link the Item Manager link in the show notes as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to play with that this week. That's exciting. It's a nice quality of life change.
So, Cross Gaming has done a video on the Spectral Blade changes, and he discusses post and pre changes. And he shows you the before and the after, and he goes into how the light melee attack has changed. So a lot of people were saying that it hasn't changed from the before the nerf, but he showed you that what happens is you can still do the slash across the screen and get to your opponent faster, but the moment that you actually make contact with your opponent, it then drains your super really, really fast. He shows you the bar decreasing significantly. So that's how they've worked it out, that if you're using that light melee to get across the map, that as soon as you make contact with that player, if you've done the whole of that map and you do one slice on that player, you've then lost your entire super energy. So that's how Bungie have kind of worked it out. He also runs through his thoughts on the best supers for 1v1s, and he's also trying it with the Gwisham Vest, so that's quite interesting to watch. True Vanguard has put a video together on improving your gun skill. Enough said, really. I mean, he goes over a lot of basic tips and a lot of things that you know are very helpful if you're just trying to improve your gun skill in PvP, but it will also help you in PvE. With the changes to the Luna's Howl and the Not Forgotten, Destiny Fun Police has put a video together on the top 5 hand cannons for Season of Opulence. Most of them are very easy to obtain, so it's worth having a look at what he recommends, because he's a very highly skilled player, and he also tells you the roles that he has on the weapons, and if he's got a good roll on it, then it's a good roll to look out for, especially like if you're going for a Kindle Orchid or a Duke Mark 44. Rustopoulos has a video on a Warlock Sentry build for Gambit Prime, and he uses the Outbreak Perfected, which we'll cover later on in the show, and he walks you through the build with what armor settings and for like mobility, resilience and recovery, and also the mods and the subclasses that you can use for that. And that's it for our tips and tricks and news roundup. We now have our this week's topic, weapon focus, and guess what? There's a Respawn Rants at the end. Good times. So, spoilers for the quests and upcoming Outbreak Perfected. If you didn't want to know, we'll put a timestamp, or you could just skip to the end of the show, basically, and listen to Peroty going, thank you for coming, because this whole section at the end is all about the Outbreak Prime, what you have to do with quests and things. So who would like to take us through this? I'm guessing the whole thing is just Respawn. We'll just respawn the whole thing.
I would just say, since I don't have the gun yet, I will let somebody talk about who's actually touched it, used it, felt it, sniffed it, played with it.
Sniffed it, licked it, slept with it. It's under my pillow as we speak. Oh my god. Oh man.
This is what is so exciting about Destiny. The fact that we've gone from doing the Revelry with the Iron Banner, and then as soon as that finishes, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a dull week. There was nothing in the TWAB last week. They go and drop an exotic quest on us. And then guess
Not
what?
just an exotic quest. Sorry, I didn't know how to finish that. It was I wanted to say the exotic, but the Arbalesque is also really amazing too. But oh my god, it's such a good exotic. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, and then we've got Iron Banner next week, and I'm excited to see what's going to come the following week, because they're not going to just leave it at that. They're not just going to go, oh, by the way, you've now just got 2 weeks to just do nothing or do what you want to kind of do. I think this just the way that they've planned this game out, and I know a lot of people have moaned that there's not enough content, there's not this, not that, but they try and do something every week. There's always something. I mean, next week I know we've got Iron Banner, but we've got a full curse week, so there's things that are going on in Dream City for that. But that's what's kind of exciting for just the normal player, that they can just log on and there's things to do every week for them. And like Peroty was saying earlier, there's doubles this week as well. So that doesn't come up that often. So it's really good fun. So Respawn, go on, have a chat about the lovely weapon.
So, first part, I'm going to try to remain calm.
Because you've got
Right,
some
everybody?
basic information to
So-
tell the people.
Yeah, I'm going to work through it. I'm going to get there. So basically, the weapon breakdown of the Outbreak Perfected. For those that didn't play D1, this is a weapon that came back from Destiny 1 called the Outbreak Prime. And just like the Outbreak Prime, when you get a headshot, it spawns these little nanites that almost look like seeking cluster rocket things, right? And when the enemy's close enough, they seek to the enemy and they hit them. Kind of like, you know what it looks like? Skip mine.
Skip grenades.
You know how you throw the skip mine? Skip grenade, thank you. You know how you throw the skip grenades and all the little red sparkly bits come out? Same premise, but there's usually a lot more of them, right? And they go out and they seek enemies, and you don't necessarily even have to get like a critical kill, right? Critical kills spawn more of them, but just actually hitting the enemy. Not even critical. You can just get like body shots. Just hitting the enemy with this weapon will spawn nanites randomly, right? And unlike Destiny 1, the more nanites that have been spawned on this enemy, the more damage your weapon does. So, as an example, the weapon does, I believe, 28 crit hit damage. And then if enough nanites stack on there, right, your critical hit damage goes from 28 to 44. Like, this is PvP, right? So, that's almost double, right? That's almost double the power of this weapon, right? Well, actually, it's not almost double. It's like, whatever. It's a lot of bonus damage for this weapon. See what I'm saying? And I personally have used it. I have melted bosses with a fire team of people in seconds, you know? And it's just a crazy, crazy gun. It's a great gun in Destiny 1, probably the best gun in Destiny 1. And it's 100% top tier in Destiny 2. But let's get into the details of this weapon. So you have the rate of fire, which is a 450 pulse rifle, right? Lightweight frame. However, unlike other lightweight frames, you don't get the +2 bonus to mobility.
You skipped a whole
But-
load of stuff.
Who cares? Now, I didn't skip.
Okay.
I'm coming back, right? Let me do this. This is my
But-
part.
But
Shut your
at the
face.
top it says
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Thank you. Impact is about 27. Really good for a pulse rifle. Range is 65. Also pretty good. Stability 46 to 47. I don't think those numbers are right because the stability on this gun I think is way, way better than that. That's just a personal opinion, but I think the stability is really good on it. And I don't have any like pulse rifle stability mods or anything like that. I'm using the gun out the box, no mods making it better in one way, shape, or form. This is just straight gun damage. Okay. Handling 39 to 40. Reload speed 49 to 50. Unless you got outlaw procced, then it's a lot faster. By the way, this gun comes with outlaw. Magazine size 36. Aim assist is 80 or higher. And recoil direction is in the low 70s, thereabouts. I think that's another one that probably isn't right. For me, recoil direction is pretty vertical. Like,
again,
really
I will
vertical.
draw your attention to the top paragraph.
What? What?
The stats for the Outbreak Prime are not yet released and will be updated once the weapon has been declassified by Bungie. The values below are
Yeah?
approximately based on what is shown in-game
Yeah?
and should be treated as such.
Yeah?
So you keep going, it doesn't
Yeah?
feel, but this is roughly what they've worked out.
Yeah?
Yeah!
Yeah? Okay, moving on. The corruption spreads. Extended barrel, accurized rounds to outlaw, and parasitism are the perks on this weapon. Corruption spreads. This weapon creates... Oh, by the way, corruption spreads is its exotic perk, as well as parasitism. It has two. The corruption spreads. This weapon creates Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits and precision kills. Parasitism. This weapon does more damage to enemies based on the number of Siva nanites that attach to them. Outbreak Perfected. Oh, here we go. I already said this part. Let's move down a bit, shall we? Thank you very
Outbreak
much.
Perfected is a 450 RPM pulse rifle similar to...
Why are you doing these things that you're doing?
And if anybody doesn't know, Siva is one of the enemies that we used to fight in Destiny 1, or it's a It's a kind of infection, wasn't it? That
It
infected
wasn't an
Fallen.
infection. It was a nanite technology, right? That could break down materials and then rebuild it in whatever way the user deemed fit. The problem is it began to think that it was smarter than the people controlling it, and it just went haywire. So it's actually just technology that behaves like a virus, and it's not a virus that just like attacks humans or animals or whatever. It attacks everything, like structures. It restructures buildings, right? I mean, just whatever it came across, it restructured in whatever way it deemed fit. So pretty cool, actually.
And it was the main villain or the main protagonist in Rise of Iron for Destiny 1. And it antagonist then. And it wiped out the Iron Lords apart from Saladin and Aphrodite, as far as we know anyway. And there was lots of cutscenes and lots of dying and sorry, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Maybe we should
what do you mean
have said
spoilers? This is
first.
D1.
Yeah. People
Oh
might
my
want to go
God.
back and play D1.
Okay, okay, so on precision kills, 7 Siva nanites will spawn and stay around for 2 to 3 seconds. If an enemy is within about 6 meters of the swarm, the Siva nanites will move towards the enemy and attach themselves, detonate, kill them. Okay? Or do damage, not necessarily kill, but it does kill a lot from what I've seen. They will debuff that enemy with the strength of the debuff based on the number of attached nanites. More nanites mean higher damage to the enemy. Using Outbreak Perfected shooting, that same enemy will also do increased damage. On the 4th consecutive burst on a single target, 3 Siva nanites will spawn and be attracted back towards the enemy you were shooting. There is a chance for the nanites to attach to other enemies, but the radius for that is small, about 3 meters. And the nanites have a stronger attraction to the enemy closest to the one that you were shooting when they spawned. There's a Charlemagne website with Outbreak details. I'm assuming he's going to put it somewhere. He usually does.
There have been several issues. Would you like to go over it, Respawn? Are you capable of doing this? Can I trust you, or should we just turn it over to Peroty and I'll mute you?
I'm capable of reading, but it's just boring.
You get bored.
All right, let's see. Where's it start?
That's
Okay,
our new
Charlemagne.
intro.
Okay. If you can't find the door to the mission that opens, wait, what? You didn't even tell them where the door is, cranky pants. So you don't start this whole thing off.
That's down to you.
Okay. Well, when you go to Titan, there's going to be a heroic adventure.
So the mission starts on Titan, does it?
Yes.
How do you know about that?
Because I'm psycho.
Is there
Psychic!
buttons telling?
Psychic!
Is there an indication on the map telling you where to go?
No.
Well, how do you know?
Because he
I'm
he
psychic.
logged online
Okay.
and asked Peroty where he needed to go and what he needed to do, and then how he had to find it, and then where the door was.
That's all hearsay. None of this can be proven in court. Okay, shut up.
I've got a recording of me waiting for you at the first thing for like 10 minutes while you jumped around trying to find me.
Yes, but that conversation can't be proven. Okay, shut up.
Where do you transmat to, Respawn?
Sloan. Right next to Sloan.
No, you don't,
I did.
Tiger.
I did.
But that's probably why it took you 10 minutes to get there. I believe it's the rig, isn't it, Peroty?
You think we're experts here? You think we're competent? We're not.
Oh. Anyway, on Titan, there's a heroic adventure, regardless of where it is. It's on the map.
You don't
It's on the map. It's on the map. It's on the map.
I'm telling you, you don't have to do the heroic
We did.
adventure. That's because you're special, and I will give you a special badge for that.
I want a gold star.
You don't do the adventure for picking the thing
We
up,
don't
or do you
get
just have
a
to
gold
go where
star.
that door
You
is normally? Tell us how to do it goodly then.
You just go where the door is. This is what I'm saying. I'll tell you what, I will just raise this bit, then you can go on and do your rant later, because you're really messing up with this.
All right, fine, whatever.
So again, spoilers for anybody that doesn't want to know anything about the Outbreak Perfected weapon quest, but we're going to run through a few things here. So there are 6 main parts to this quest, and I will link videos by Fallout Plays detailing each step. So I'll quickly run through roughly what you need to do. So step 1 is to find the quest, and you have to fly to Titan and zone into the rig. And in the video, Fallout Plays shows you exactly where to go from the spawn point to get to a secret door that is locked, that once you open it, you'll be able to go in and find a mysterious data pad. Step 2, complete the data pad. So you'll find a data pad on Titan that needs to have nodes inserted into it, and they are in lost sectors on the EDZ and Nessus, and these are Fallen Boss lost sectors. You don't need to kill the bosses, you just need to find the nodes. Step 3, you go to the farm. I know, unusual, go to the farm. If anybody doesn't remember where that is, if you highlight Earth and up to the top right hand corner there is a yellow ball that says farm on it. If you go there, down underneath a building on the right, when you zone in, there is a little cellar that's open. If you follow the path around, everybody's kind of running there, so you should be able to find it. You'll find Mithrax, a fallen captain, hiding in some bookshelves at the back, and that's where you can start the mission. So step 4 is you have to complete the 20-minute mission called 0 Hour to get the weapon, and this includes jumping puzzles and killing everything that you see as you go through it. Once you've done that and you've got the weapon, you can then select a heroic version. So that is step 5. The heroic version again is located in the farm, but when you zone into the map, on the top right hand corner you'll see a blue symbol that you can then start the heroic version. In that there'll be a burn each week, and this current week that we've initially started it on is a void burn, and when you run through that and you complete that 20-minute mission, again there's jumping puzzles but it's slightly different, then you should be able to get the catalyst to drop from that, and each week that you complete it you should get 10% from just completing the heroic version each week. So it should take you 5 weeks roughly to complete it if you're just doing the heroic version over and over again. But there is also another step, which is step 6, where you can go and find a mysterious data pad again in the mission, and once you've done that there is a vault puzzle, and with this vault puzzle it's pushing buttons and levers and a numerical sequence, and it's very complicated, but there are a couple of websites and calculators to help you out and guides on it, which we have linked in the show notes. Once you've done that, that gives you an extra couple of particles of Siva to then upgrade the catalyst. So it should take you about 3 weeks if you do this. Also in doing this rewards you with a ship schematic. If you're having an issue when you initially start the quest and you can't find the door to the mission, or you can't find that it doesn't open, then there has been an issue with the Rat King quest, which is blocking the Outbreak Prime or the Enemy of My Enemy mission, and Bungie are looking to it, and if you are affected by that, please let them know, and hopefully there'll be a fix for it soon. So if you can't get the door to open, one thing might help is if you go back to Sloane and talk to her, or if you don't remember completing the quest step for the Rat King's crew, then it might be in your inventory, it might not. It may require you to play through the Enemy of My Enemy quest until you reach the reactor room to recover the reactor. So here you'll actually encounter the fallen captain Mithrax as well as a Hive Knight, and it's been speculated that you have to keep Mithrax alive for this quest to open up. If you don't attack him, he doesn't attack you, kind of thing, and then he says goodbye and disappears at the end of the mission. So in order to be able to unlock the door for the Fallen Transponder for your Outbreak Perfected mission. But it is a myth that you have to let the Fallen Leader live in the Enemy of My Enemy on Titan. All you have got to have done is basically have completed that mission. So some people are saying that you have to have done the daily mission to run through, and there's a shrieker and things like that. I can confirm by doing it myself that you can just run there from the patrol point, and you don't need to do it solo. I took my friend with me, and we ran and got the transponder or the data pad and started the quest that way. So you can just run there from patrols, so there's no issue with that. So going on to the videos that we've got for you, I thought it would be easier if I link 3 videos all by the same person. So I've gone with Fallout Plays because he's pretty straightforward in explaining what needs to be done. So in the first video he goes into how to get the quest started, and he goes over where to go on Titan, where to go and get the 6 node locations, 4 on the EDZ and 2 on Nessus. Also he goes over the route that you take in the 0 hour mission, and that includes where jumping puzzles are and where buttons are to push to help your teammates get through the jumping puzzles, because as you're going through there are sections that are quite hard to jump, and the first person through can activate a button that then brings out other platforms to help other teammates get through. So that's something good that Bungie have done. If you've got fallen armaments, much like we talked about the taken armaments that you can get from the Last Wish raid, if you get a grenade kill with the taken armaments in Gambit Prime, it then gives you heavy ammo reserves. This again, the fallen armor mods that you can get from the Scourge of the Pass raid, you can equip on your character, and if you get grenade kills, that gives you extra heavy ammo. So that's something to think about if you're loading up to go in for this mission. The second video by Fallout Plays is a walkthrough guide of how to get the catalyst. Because the heroic version of the mission is slightly different with different jumping puzzles, it may take a couple of times to get practice in where to jump, but he has an in-depth video of where to go and what to do. And then he has a third video, which is the Void Challenge, which is this week's challenge for doing the data pad. Now it may change slightly each week, or it may be the same, but at the moment they're calling it a Void Challenge because this week we're on a Void week. Next week be Solar or Arc. So, but it will require you to do different computer entries whilst in the vault at the end of the mission. If you're worried about the 20-minute time that is required to do this, don't worry, there is a cheese for it. And this basically means that you can have one person constantly trying to load into the mission, which then delays the timer until they actually load in. So there's a couple of button sequences and how to do it, but I will link a video by Cheese Forever, who has a video on how to do that. As long as you zone into the mission before the mission ends, you should also get the rewards if you are the person doing the button pushing outside, trying to keep yourself from zoning in. So that is very good and very helpful for people that are struggling with jumping puzzles like myself. Also, Cheese Forever has done a Void configuration webpage and a video guide to go along with that, so I'll link that in the notes, because once you're in the vault room and you're trying to do the catalyst, you have to input certain numbers into certain terminals, and if you use his web browser, you can input the numbers in there and it will tell you which terminal to go and which buttons to push. So that is very, very helpful, and he's also configured it for mobile. Final couple of videos, we have Sweaticles has done a video on how to get the quarantine zone emblem for the Outbreak Prime quest. Now you can do this in regular or the heroic version, and basically what it means is you have to have, I think it's 5 minutes left on your timer once you've completed the mission, and you'll get a special emblem to drop. Aztecross has done a video on a Warlock build using the Chromatic Fire chest piece and the Outbreak Perfected, and he's called it Chromatic Perfected. That's worth having a look at and seeing if that's interesting for you. I also then have 3 other videos that may be interesting. We have the original Destiny Outbreak Prime review by Patrick Casey. That goes over the initial weapon from Destiny 1, and you can see how it compares to the Destiny 2 version. I have the True Vanguard exotic review for Destiny 2, and he goes over how good the gun is and where to use it and what to do and all the different things for that. That's really cool. And the last video is a video by My Name is Bife, and he's done a lore video on the Outbreak Perfected, so that may be worth checking out. It's a 20-minute video, does give you a bit of interesting lore on it. Few final things on the Outbreak Perfected quest. Cosmo has confirmed on Twitter that the 0 hour mission is permanent, so it's unlike the Whisper quest that came when it first came out, it was time gated. And the Drifter has remarked, as soon as you acquire the weapon and you go and speak to him, if you ever go back, he wants you to pick something up for him. So that's interesting. It may be something that then goes on further and further into the quest. So that's really cool. And thanks to a Reddit post by Jinsa, there's a game file that shows that there's a reference to Void, Solar and Arc configurations, which then turns into a ship which we spoke about previous. So this ship is called Scarp CF71791, and in the game files it shows that you have got to have completed the 3 configurations of the puzzle in the heroic reprise of 0 hour to complete the ship repairs. So once you've done a Void, a Solar and an Arc, schematic for the ship should be able to be turned into Amanda Holiday and you get a ship. So that's really cool. So we're not going to discuss our views on the weapon until Peroty has actually acquired the weapon, because he hasn't been able to get on this week to do it. So we're going to give him a hand this following week, just before I'm Banner, and hopefully he can get the weapon. And then on next week's podcast, we can discuss the weapon in a little bit more detail. So we have a bunch of video guides and a website calculator for the puzzle. We hope you all enjoyed doing it, and we hope that you all get the weapon. And that's it for the link video. So Respawn can now waffle on.
Waffle on.
So, my rant this week is actually about the Outbreak Perfected. How can I say this eloquently? Okay, well, this...
Ding, 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 ding.
Can we try a clean version?
No, this is all staying.
That should be the end of our show. Just end it on that and be like, cut, done. Play the music, roll tape, we out.
Now I'm sad. I don't feel like ranting anymore. Super sad. Okay, so apparently they made me do a clean version because the version that I initially did for my rant, they said that it all had to be edited out because they're a bunch of wusses, right? Yeah, all that, right? All they had to do was add those dings in there, and they couldn't do it. Apparently, that's too... Whatever. Moving on. So, now the clean version of the rant is basically, the gun's amazing. The only gun that even comes close to this gun is the
Ding. All I can think of is ding. You're now free to move about the country.
Anyway, so the clean version of my rant, because I was vetoed by the other two people of my crew that it has to be, what'd you say? Clean? The clean version? Yeah, okay, well, whatever. So basically, the gun is like this, right? The Outbreak Perfected is an amazing gun. It was amazing in Destiny.
Sorry, I couldn't help doing it again. I'll be good now. Oh no, he's gone! Oh, he's back. He's muted himself. I'll be good. I'll be good. Go on then.
Are you sure?
Lies.
Yeah.
I put my phone down.
I'm waiting
I put
for
my
it.
phone down.
No, I'm waiting for it.
I put my phone down.
Sounds like you're suffering from PTSD syndrome.
And by the way, this all has to stay in so that they know what the hell was going on, right? At least the clean version, quote unquote. So after that complete train wreck of an intro to the rant, I'm disheveled at this point, right? I'm demotivated for the rant. Basically, there's only two guns in the game you need to get. You need to get the Arbalest and or the Outbreak Perfected. You have either one of those guns, you're sitting pretty. You have both of those guns, well then you have a problem because they're both great guns. So which one do you use? Personally, whenever I'm going against single target damage, right, I tend to go for the Arbalest. Does a lot of single target damage, especially if they have a shield. If I'm going against a boss and I have other people, especially if I have other people that have the Outbreak Perfected, then I use the Outbreak Perfected because I don't think we mentioned it earlier in the rant.
I thought you were going to rant about the mission.
I'm getting there. The mission to get it, right? The mission to get the weapon itself, it's not so bad, right? I've done the cheese for it.
The Two Titans would like to apologise for the Hunter rant this week. It was late. I kind of deflated his rant with too many dings. Sorry for making your ears bleed. Normal service will resume next week. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our listeners for the continued download support. And we'll continue doing what we're doing. You guys continue doing what you're doing. So thank you. And 3, 2, 1, we're back in the room.
Other than that basically wraps up my rant for this week. It's a great gun, right? If you didn't get the Arbalest and you missed out on it, that's a shame. But do not miss out on this gun. Once you get this gun, you're going to see what an amazing gun this is. There are almost no words to describe it. I think this gun and the Arbalest are probably the best exotic guns in all of Destiny 1 and 2, right? I think they're just amazing, right? So that's just how it is. That's my rant. You agree with me? Great. You don't agree with me? I don't know. Why are you listening to the podcast, right? Because I'm the star. No, edit that part out. If you don't agree with me, then, I don't care. I'm right. You're wrong. Get over it. Let's move forward. And that's it. Next week will be better. I promise.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
I'm going to keep this promise. Shut up.
I think that's it. So we should call it a night because there's lots of rambling. And it's gone downhill very rapidly. We started off strong, and then there was the demise of Respawn through dings.
And they're pretty much broken.
And we completely deflated his
I don't
bubble.
even know why that tilted me so much. It still tilts me. Like right now, I'm so irritated by all the dings, man.
You don't get irritated by the fact that you get muted and edited post
just the dings
show.
Yeah.
But you get, when I'm doing it to you live in the show, you get tilted.
No, I get tilted when you do that, but I think it's funny, right? So, that's funny. But when you do all the dings in here and nobody hears you doing the dings and they just hear my dejected, poor attempt at a rant after you've mentally traumatized me, then that's a completely different thing, man. There's no comedy there. It's just me being
we should have just built you back up afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
But there's so much comedy to be had there, just not by anyone else but us.
Sorry. No.
Yeah, he edits out all the good bits, man.
We apologize for the fault of those who are not responsible or responsible for ranting, those responsible sacked. We apologize again for the fault in the ranting. Those responsible for sacking the people who have been sacked have just been sacked. Everyone has been sacked. The rants have been ranted. The games have been gamed.
See, no. You know what? No, because there was a great rant. Right? I had the rant all taken care of. I told you beforehand, you got to get the ding ready. You had the ding ready, and yeah, you did. But then you said, "Oh, this has got to be edited out. We want the clean one for you." Right? And so after digging for like 10 minutes, right? There would have been a good rant. It would have been funny. It would have been full of dings. People would laugh. Instead, this is what you get. So blame him.
This is muted out because Respawn is just ranting extra rants about stuff that you don't care about.
Oh yeah. Ding. Just mute out the stuff that you're responsible for. I see. See how it is? Trying to save face, stupid brick. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired. Shut up. What the hell?
And this has been Two Titans and a Very Tired Hunter. Your Titans have been Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter is no one Respawn in real life. Email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. Hit us up on Facebook. Find us on YouTube. The latest episode will be up there next week, I promise. You can join the Frozen clan at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0, because Frozen with an O, owned by Disney, as are all things Simba. You can find your favorite Guardian on Xbox Live. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. I leave you from dusk till dawn, dancing the outer dance of my people. Say goodbye, Guardians.
Goodbye. And hey, shout out to Queen Anne's Revenge and his clanmates for leaving their clan to come join ours. Keep up the power, boys. And girls.
Shout out to the Booker Man who hit me up on Twitter this week saying he takes offense at my insistence that he uses 5 guns. He would like to everyone to know he uses more than 5 guns. It might be 6, but he uses more than 5.
Oh yes, yeah. Goodbye.
What's so funny? What I miss?
Flashback.